Good morning. I am Staff Sergeant Jeff Galinsky of the Calgary Police Service Economic Crime Unit. Today we are sharing with you one arrest that has been made in relation to a student loan scheme. There remains one outstanding suspect who is believed to be connected to this case, and they are currently wanted on warrants. It is alleged that two worked together in defrauding the Alberta Student Aid office and several private post-secondary institutions in Calgary out of more than $240,000 over a span of 3 years. In October of 2019, a peace officer with the Advanced Education Special Investigations Team under the provincial government contacted the Calgary Police Service when they noticed multiple inconsistencies with several student loan applications. A lengthy investigation ensued and revealed that the scheme was run by two men between May 2017 and May 2020. It is believed that they used the stolen identities and personal information of 21 unsuspecting individuals to fraudulently apply for student loans from the provincial government. Once the suspects had the victim's personal information, they would target a post-secondary institution and enroll as students using the stolen identities and apply for student financial aid. Most of the loan applications were conducted online, resulting in loan approvals ranging from approximately $25,000 to $38,000 for each student personation. The government deposited the funds directly into the bank accounts provided by the suspects posing as students during the loan process. To satisfy the loan requirements, the suspects would physically attend the school, posing as a student under a fraudulent identity in order to receive the loan payouts. The suspects would simultaneously attend various schools under a variety of fraudulent identities to perpetuate the scheme and maximize payouts. In addition to receiving fraudulent student loans using the stolen identities, the suspects are believed to have committed credit card and check fraud and obtained mail services fraudulently. As a result, Dave Guylenz Mitchell Beauvais has been charged with money laundering, fraud over $5,000, personation, possession of identity documents, uttering forged documents, and possession of a controlled substance. He will appear in court on Wednesday, November 10th, 2021. Kadir Daki, 30, is wanted on warrants for one count of using a forged document and one count of identity fraud. The Calgary Police Service would like to thank the Advanced Education Special Investigations Team, the schools and their administrative staff, and the financial institutions for their assistance in helping us advance this investigation. Anyone who believes their personal identity to be compromised is asked to contact the personal non-emergency line at 403-266-1234, and tips can also be left anonymously using Crime Stoppers.
Thank you, Staff Sergeant. We will now open the floor up for any questions from the media. So please use the chat function if you have a question. Tamasia De Silva with Global, please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi there. Can you tell us where the schools, what schools were impacted and where these guys got these fraudulent student IDs?
Okay, well, the schools were post-secondary schools in Alberta. The fraudulent IDs majority of them were obtained through data breaches or through likely mail theft from our information.
Can you tell us at all which schools, or is that still being investigated, or?
As that doesn't really add to the investigation at this time. We're not going to release which schools specifically were targeted.
So these were actual student IDs that were used, or did they have to register as students, or were they already current students that they stole the IDs from?
They were not actual students, but they registered posing as potential students.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tamasia. Colleen from CBC, please go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you. I just wanted to know, how did it come about that, how did you guys catch on to them? It seems as though there were quite a few incidents. So was it that the school noticed it, or the province, or how did it come about that you were triggered?
It came to us through a variety of ways until it was pieced together that this was occurring. It came through the schools and through victims noticing that their identity had been compromised. And as a result, in working with our provincial partner, we then undertook an investigation.
Can I just ask, so was it that perhaps they were notified about the identity being stolen, like the loan? I've had a loan before. So was it that these students were notified, hey, you have a loan out there, and they're like, whoa, I don't have a loan, that kind of thing?
Some of them did, in fact, were notified and thought they received mail that they should not have been receiving and notifications to that effect. So some of the information did come to us that way.
Okay. Am I allowed to ask another one?
Yeah, go ahead, Colleen.
Okay, you do mention it, but sort of talking more broadly about how widespread this is and how big of a problem it is going on out there.
Again, protecting your personal information is paramount. Anytime you register for something online, if it's not a trusted source you're registering with, you're putting your information at risk. Also, some of these incidents occur from people leaving mail or other identifying documents in their vehicles. And now when vehicles are broken into, to the offenders, they're more looking at using that information than actual property from your vehicle. So again, we're also encouraging people to secure their wallets, any mail or identifying documents such as registration insurance, and not leaving it in their vehicles. That will reduce the opportunity for them to become victims.
Did you have any follow-up there, Colleen?
No, that's great. I mean, I was
Okay.
more thinking about, because I hadn't heard of this before. It seems pretty courageous for somebody to go about doing this, but is this something that you're seeing more often, or is this pretty rare?
Well, in this incident, we obviously we came across it. It was a 2-year investigation. That was a lot of work with various internal and external partners and various specialty units within the Calgary Police Service. But again, on the rise are all sorts of common identity crimes that we've heard of over the last couple of years, including cryptocurrency investments, the puppy scams, online loan credit card applications, and romance scams.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Thanks, Colleen. Dylan Short with Post Media, please go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, hi there. I was just wondering if there's any information that Calgary Police have on the location of the man that's still wanted on warrants. Is there any idea where he is at this time, or any identifying factors that the public should be looking out for?
From our investigation, we don't believe he's currently in Calgary or the province of Alberta, and we're still working on trying to definitely locate his exact whereabouts.
And then just following up on Colleen's questions there, I know you said that there's a rise in some of these online cases, online fraud cases. I guess, do you have any I guess stats or data, and this might be more questions for the communications team, that might be able to help illustrate that?
Yeah, I think if you follow up with our media affairs unit, they can provide you with those stats after this. Thank you.
Sure. And then just, I noticed that the individual that has been charged was also charged with possession of a controlled substance. I guess, is there any more information on that, or is that just maybe he was found with some drugs or something like that?
There's really not too much to share. It was a small amount, nothing substantial.
Yeah, thank you.
But worth a charge.
Thanks, Dylan. And yes, you can call the media line if you're looking for some more specific stats or numbers. Jody Hughes with Global, please go ahead and ask your questions. It looks like you have a couple there.
Hi, good morning. Yes, I was just wondering, first, did the suspects make any effort to disguise themselves while they were in the classes, or was it just that they were using aliases? And are there any specific data breaches that seem to be overly tied to this? Like, was there one specific one where they really seemed to get a lot of victims from?
Well, first I'll speak to the data breach. We can't confirm which data breach they got their information from, but there have been some well-known data breaches that have been reported. So it's likely or possible that's come from there. As far as attending the school, our investigation revealed that they used multiple people to attend school, to sit in the seats, to provide the appearance of being an actual student in the class. There was no disguises per se, but they were using, they were able to commandeer multiple people to assist.
Will those people also be facing charges then?
Well, we weren't able to confirm their identities, but through our investigation, we did confirm that there were people who did that, and the people who were in charge and were leading this scheme were the ones that were charged.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jody. Did anybody else have any other questions?
Sorry, it's Tamasia again. Can I ask another question on, could identities also have been stolen from maybe Facebook profiles, that kind of thing?
We didn't see that specifically in this investigation. That didn't come to our attention.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Tamasia. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Hi there, it's Dylan Short with Postmedia again. I was just curious if there's any specific initiatives that Calgary Police has taken on recently to help, I guess, fight some of these crimes that we're talking about today.
Well, again, we're also encouraging people whenever they think they've been victimized of a crime through their identity theft and have suffered a loss, to report that to police. Also, if they think they've been attempted to be victimized, to report that incident to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, which is important because that keeps track of national trends and we can share information with our partners across Canada.
Just one more question, Colleen here. The person who's wanted on a warrant, are they from Calgary?
We don't believe that they are from Calgary, no.
Does anybody else have any other questions before we wrap up?
Sorry, Dylan Short here again. If the individual isn't believed to be from Calgary and he's not believed to still be in Calgary, I guess, was he in Calgary during this time frame, or were there other universities outside of Calgary and outside of Alberta that were targeted in this?
Yeah, the second offender was in the city participating in the crime, but now it appears that he's fled to another jurisdiction outside the province.
Anybody else have any other questions? No? Okay, that looks like nobody else has any other questions here, so that will conclude our Q&A portion. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today.